Okay, I'm trying something a little different for some paper that I need to create today. That's going to be wrapped around a set of boards. I've done some fervent, quick. I'm not quite sure how to talk about it. It's collage work. I'm not sure where it's going, but we'll see what ends up being used, if at all. Who knows? This was just a quick put something together sort of thing. And I had a little bit of Mod Podge, so I used that, and you can see this is so not matte. So not matte. So yeah, we'll see what happens here with this piece. Anywho, I'll see you in the next part of the video. Okay, so you can see here, boy, this looks like an absolute mess. I've been adding bits and pieces here and there to my piece, the one that was, I don't know if you can really tell anymore, like this is a collage piece, but I've painted over top. This is the piece that you just saw that is now very different, if that makes any sense. This looks like hot garbage, if I am coining a phrase or turning the phrase right. Super duper squeaky hot garbage. The colors that I've been using, this is just a pie tin that I've covered up with some stuff. You can see I was using some bubble wrap there. Getting this completed, sorry, I needed to move that, it was hurting my toe. The colors look nicer in person. It kind of looks, like I said, like hot garbage right now. But I have attempted, let me see, it's a little stiffer, I might be able to hold it up a little bit better. And again, this is just experimentation with texture and paint. I chose the colors on purpose, very purposeful paint choosing, color choosing, because I wanted a certain sort of atmospheric kind of feel. However, this looks like, let's say it with me now, hot garbage. So, like I said, this is an experiment. I did do a couple of other papers that are drying right now because I plan, I'd still like to experiment with this even if I don't use it for the purpose for which I intended it. Let me put this down there. My arm's gonna start hurting. So that's what I'm doing right now with this. Again, things escalate quickly around here. There's a part of me that really, one of the reasons I did this way is, number one, I wanted to see if I could do a really quick paper collage kind of thing. And I was utilizing some different kinds of paper, like slick glossy papers, which the reason is I'm running out of newsprint paper and advertisement paper, so I kind of wanted to see what I could do with some of that stuff. The problem with that is 9/10 of the images are like super skinny women, like fashion-y women, and I'm not bagging on any of that. I mean, I like fashion as much as the other person. I know it's art, the photography and the styling and the everything else that goes along with it, and the modeling, etc. But it's not the imagery that I wanted to use. So that's why I was kind of goofing around with this to see what I can come up with. Okay. No, we're not going to stop. Okay, come on. Oh, I got paint on my finger. Maybe that's the reason why. Well, let's see if I can find a finger with no paint. Okay, this is much better lighting. You can see that I've done 3 pieces over here in more of an abstract, and then how different this one looks with all the little puckery weird marks in it, which I'm kind of like. I don't know. I want to see what dries and what shows through. Do I want to cut it up and do other stuff with it? These pieces, I don't plan on necessarily doing a ton of working back into. However, I do see like that spot right there. I need to work back into that. But I need these to dry completely before I can attempt to do it again. Because remember, when you're working with something like newsprint, if it gets wet, it starts to fall apart. So, yeah. So while these guys are drying, I'm going to go back and, let me see, I'm going to leave you over here. And then I'm going to grab something over here. Because I did some work on the elephant. And as you can see, I did some painting. So I'd like to put the rest of the elephant together. Very Horton Hears a Who. I don't want to put a cheek blush on the little elephant, because you can see, boy, my cinematography skills are just stellar. But you can see that little elephant moves. So I'm going to be working on that while these things dry. Finish this up and then put her aside to dry, and then I can come back and do repaints. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Where's that finger that doesn't have paint on it? Okay, see you in the next part. Okay, I got quite a bit done yesterday. As you can see, my elephant is put together. I still have a few little spot things I need to hit the edges here and there, and I want you can probably tell that I painted this elephant. And the reason I did that is because I didn't like all of these little numbers and things. So yeah, those are gone now. I think she turned out pretty cool. I added a little bit of blush that shows up a little bit better in real life. Plus, I made a part to go here because I didn't want her when she sat just normally, her head would droop, and I didn't like that. So now her head can move back and forth. The very last thing I need to do, and I was waiting for all of the glue and everything to be dry, is I need to add some little ends to the pieces here. And I have, let me see if I can, I have some little silver beads. They aren't real silver, they're plastic. I just need to carve this little end down a little bit more, and then these will sit flush. I added in the pieces of felt here just so it wouldn't be paper against paper, and it would make the paint not rub off so quickly. The way in which I painted the elephant was I used sponge paint. So you can kind of tell if you look here close, there's little spongy bits. I used a sponge to paint the pieces that I'd already done, which I think worked out really well. There's some things that I would change because I would like to do this again now that I kind of know what I'm doing. And I think the original artist, who I only know the name Hidan, H-E with a little over the top, D-A-N, and this was from 1945 from a children's magazine. I think the only things that I would change would be adding some of these parts, and now I'm a little smarter about the painting, so I think that I think that in future, if I do make this, because you can see this one's just a smidgy bit crooked, I'd add in these parts, that sort of thing. I think I'd like to make a pink one because I think that would be kind of cute, little pink elephant. And then yesterday, I had a come to Jesus moment with the pram. I went back in and worked with a lot of pen over the top because I just did not like how things were going. I added on the little cover here. I need to figure out a way. I think I'm going to use felt, a little felt swatch, and glue this down so it's safe. The wheels do not turn. The wheels are fixed. I mean, these wheels can turn, but the little axle part is fixed. I need to kind of figure out how I want to do that. I don't think it's going to be mission critical for the show, because this is going to be going in the studio. And for those of you who don't know, how do I put this? I don't have kids. I think kids are fabulous. I love kids. I think they're amazing. But I also like to come home and crawl in my studio and make my own artwork. And that's me being very honest with myself about how I want to live my life. And I know that if I had had a child, I would not be able to make as much art as I make. I made a conscious choice not to have kids. Or Baron and I really, if we had one, we wanted one, and that was it. And went with being an artist. So the things that I make are, for me, just as much my children as anything else. And my mother told a rather cruel joke made a cruel joke of it. I think she thought she was being really funny. It wasn't, and it hurt a lot. She said Katie doesn't make friends, she makes her friends, which just, wow. That plus the don't have kids, you're not maternal. Yeah, that makes my heart squeeze tight. So this is symbolic for me. It's still super duper wonky, and I want to make it again, which of course I can. So there's that. Now, what else did I accomplish yesterday? Well, the paper is done. I went through and I made some additions to the paint. I think it looks a lot better, although right here on camera it looks horrible. So it's ready to go, which is good, because I'm gonna roll this up a little gently. Put this over here, because also yesterday, yeah, I was a busy girl yesterday. I made all of, this is the shelf supports, the shelf, the sides for this piece right here, which measures, I had to give it in inches because it was just quicker to do it that way. It's like 10 inches by about 15 inches. So I'm going to build this today. I built this yesterday, and it's my typical construction with this sort of thing, with the cardboard. I need to get some tag board on this to minimize the ripple effect, and I need to cut out pieces, and I'm going to sink these in because I made such a thick base. I'm going to sink these in a bit, and get these cut out, and everything needs to be wrapped. So I'm going to be working on that this morning. I also yesterday, in between things, was working on, these are like the last two things I want to add to the house, these chairs that go in the kitchen. And I cut out these sections, but I want you to look and see. They don't match exactly. I still need to go in and do a little bit more cutting here, because I want to cut these pieces out. And my plan is, I have a lot of little pieces of scrap wood. I'm going to glue them on. Once these are cut out, glue those on, so then I can fold it and put it together. And like these pieces, especially these pieces, will stand up to the rigors of what's going to happen when the folding and stuff happens. And then the four legs I'm going to treat just like the table and put the toothpicks on the inside. But it's these right here that need to have glue added and a little piece of wood just for this little span, like this much. And when I say I'm going to use scrap, let's see, because you know me, wooden pegs, bamboo, all kinds of other things. I have, these are the little scraps I'm talking about, these little pieces of wood, and I'm just going to glue them to the underside, just that little expanse there. And these will be colored in. I've also got to color the backs of this. I've already, yeah, I hope that didn't caught a little bit. Sometimes the glue will catch. So then all of this needs to be done in green. And then these will be done in green. This seems like an awful lot of work to do for a couple of chairs, but I think it's going to look really nice. So, okay, I'm going to stop for now. I'm going to end this video, and hopefully I'll have more to show you in a little bit, because I want this thing, this new base piece built, because by the end of today, I want to be working on the bodies for these dolls, which are going to be different from what I normally do. So, because I was going over that in my mind yesterday, last night before I went to bed. It's like I could just sit down and do it the normal way that I've been doing dolls for a long time, and it's like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do something different. So that's why I'm doing things that are different. So thank you, patrons. Thank you for listening to me. I'm with each passing day, I seem to make less and less sense. November is going to be much more relaxation. I promise. And fun stuff for you guys too. So, because all of my loyal patrons that have stuck around. And I think I'll go ahead. I'm gonna put both of these on the site, so you can have these for free. Because like I said, I really want to make another elephant. I really like this elephant. I want to find more stuff by this particular guy. I really like building these because it's an old toy. So, anywho, thank you, patrons. I will see you in the next video.